Guess who's back? Back again. Mikey's back. Tell a friend. Hey everybody, here I am with another review for you guys today. And today we're going to be looking at the Lepin Grand Carousel, which is a complete replica of the Lego Grand Carousel. And here is the instruction manual that it comes with. And this set does include power functions, and I will get to that shortly. Again, with the instruction booklet, you're going to run into some minor issues, with the differences between a Lepin and a Lego set with, some of the color differences. Just to put it mildly, the instruction manuals are not quite as good as a Lego instruction manual, but it's not terrible. I mean, you can complete the set, obviously. And this set includes 9 minifigures, which typically I look at the minifigures all individually to give you guys a good look at them. I am not going to look at the minifigures individually for this set because, as you can see, I already have them on the carousel. And taking them off of the carousel would make it fall apart. And that leads me to the biggest problem that this set has, and that is it is very, very sensitive. It can come apart very easily, which is very unfortunate. And I've watched some reviews on the Lego Grand Carousel to help me understand if this is a Lego problem or if it is a Lepin problem. And honestly, I've come to the realization that this is actually just a Lego problem from the design of the set itself. It's a very beautiful, very, very beautiful set, as you can see, from the camera here. But having said that, it was not the best designed set, not at all. There are some very severe fundamental problems with this set that I will get into, shortly. But as I said, there are 9 minifigures. I'll do a 360 spin here so you guys can get an idea. Again, I'm just very reluctant to touch, anything on the set itself, because it'll probably just come apart. It's very, very, very fragile for those Christmas Story fans out there. But having said that, it is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful set. And here are the power functions that the set came with. And we put brand new batteries in it, and the thing did not work. It wouldn't power on. It was effectively, worthless. And it's not a real expensive piece, so we considered going and getting the Lego one, just to make it run. But that was until we actually did some research on the actual Lego set itself, and the Lego set one falls apart very easily as well, because the way the mechanisms and everything is designed, the horses are supposed to go up and down. It has a lot of moving parts, and these moving parts, can come apart at any moment, which in turn, makes it fall apart. And, the pieces can fall back in there, and in places that it's very hard to reach them. And so we decided to just go ahead and make it a non-power function set. But again, it is a very, very beautiful set that will go nice in our Lego city. And so we just decided that just the appearance of it was good enough for us, because we just plain don't want to have to dink with this thing all the time. And even for the sake of my review, I put it on this piece of wood here, because just the transporting of it, we felt could just make it shatter apart, because it is so fragile. And another thing real quick, you'll notice I built it on a gray, this is a gray Lego base plate. It is not the green one that the set came with. And, we did that for a couple of reasons. First and foremost, that the Lego base plates are just plain better. And we feel with all these, replica or knockoff sets or imitation sets, that the end result is better by building them on a Lego base plate as opposed to the ones that they come with. So that was reason number one. And reason number two is we actually kind of wanted the gray for where this thing is going to live in our Lego city in the long run. The gray worked better for us than the green. But the actual platform itself is very fragile, and it can fall apart. The seats, let me turn them here. The seats like this, they're not secure, and they will fall off when you put a minifigure on them, and it just creates a lot of headaches. And then there's let me show you. There's tires like this tire here, that is on that is inside underneath there. You can't see it, because they got it covered, but it's what makes it go round and round. And these Lepin tires, they're made a little bit differently. They're made a little bit differently than the Lego ones are. The plastic's a little smoother. So, we didn't believe that it would have enough traction to actually make it go around and around. If we decided we were going to go that route with it, we would have felt we would have had to get the Lego wheels instead, just to give it some more grip. But again, even if we went with the power functions, we'd probably be, putting this thing back together every time we turned it on, which is rather irritating. You see these things right here? This is a Lego, design that we're not big fans of. It has nothing to do with Lepin, but the way they spin here, when it goes around, it'll, change and like that, and it just gives it a not quite as secure look as it should. On a real carousel, the things on the top aren't going to be, rotating around. I don't understand why they didn't try to secure that a little bit better. We were quite surprised by that. And then these things here, it's literally just sitting there, and it's not connected to anything. And again, that's the way the Lego one is. And for the life of us, we just couldn't figure out why they went with that kind of a design with it. Why not attach it? I guess as I'm looking at it right now, it'll make it a little bit easier to access the inner functions if something breaks. And as I said, that the cloth here came unattached, so it's just it's just kind of a pain all around. As far as like missing pieces go, there was a couple of minor missing pieces. There was one of these red tiles right here. It was missing, which, we found a substitution, so it wasn't a big deal. But there was, a couple little instances like that where, that's a Lepin, flaw. So, I feel like I'm giving you guys a lot of, trying to talk you guys out of buying this set. And I don't really want to do that. I just want to give everybody proper information about this set itself, so you can kind of know what you're getting your hands on, because it is a very, very flawed set. And again, some of those flaws are from Lego, and some of them flaws are from Lepin. So, but having said all that, it is a very, very beautiful set. And if you want, some kind of fairground or amusement park, I feel like it is kind of a must-have. In my personal opinion, I think it is much more appealing to the eye than, like, say, the Ferris wheel is, or the fairground mixer. Like, it really, will draw you in that much more and want to look at it. And not that those sets don't, if you, but if you want the complete fairground sets, those are the three that you would go after. And the Lego version of this one is one of the most sought after pieces that Lego has ever made. You could call it one of the Lego Holy Grail sets because it's so expensive, and people just really wanted it and are willing to pay thousands of dollars for it. And honestly, it's a little bit silly because even the Lego Grand Carousel is very, very flawed and will probably not function as nearly as good as you would hope it would be. And of course, this thing, it did come with a sound brick, and it was a fun little song that it played, and I wish I could play it for you guys, but the Lepin sound brick, it ran nonstop from the time that we turned it on. Like we couldn't turn it off. It just kept going and going and going until the battery just died on it. So yeah, it did work for a day, I guess we can say there. And I actually looked up the Lego sound brick for this set just to see how much it might cost, and just for a tiny little brick like that size was $300 for the sound brick to the actual Grand Carousel. So, and that was the cheapest one I can find. So ouch, ouch, ouch. We will not be having any kind of sound with this thing at all. But again, we're all right with it. We're still very happy that we had of it. And if you're like us, and you, it's really one of the ones you're kind of looking at, I don't want to talk you out of getting it because you'll probably never be able to get your hands on it again. I just want you to understand that you're going to get something that is very fragile and is a lot more meant to just be viewed and admired, as opposed to something that is actually supposed to function and be played with. Like if you let a kid play with this thing, oh man, you'd be rebuilding these horses and everything all the time, and like I said, pieces will get jammed down in there, and it's just literally a nightmare. So that's why, like I said, for even for this review, I didn't even want to take the minifigures off and give you guys a close up of them. I mean, and really they're just yellow, basic minifigures. They're not anything super duper special anyways. And so I think I'm gonna get into my rating of this set. And with all of my research that I have done on the Lego Grand Carousel, I don't think anybody that's ever had it in their possession themselves would give that one a 10, because there's just it's got its own flaws. And so I would say that the very best I could probably give the Lego Grand Carousel would be an 8. And even that one I feel like I'm being a little generous with. But, I'll say that the Lego one is an 8. And if the Lego one is an 8, I'm going to give the Lepin one probably about a 6. Because, again, my power functions didn't work. Some people's, they do. I don't know if the power function problem is something that Lepin has all around, or if we just got a defective one or whatever. But again, even if it did work, the tires for it were not going to catch anyways. So, and the sound brick died in one day. So, I mean, I think it's about a 6 set, which I know is a little bit lower than I typically go, but I think it's fairly accurate for this one, and I'm not trying to talk people out of it at all, because if you want it, go get it. It is a very unique build. It's a very repetitive build, very, very repetitive, but it is one of the larger. I think it's one of the 10 largest Lego sets ever made, and the finished product is very, very, very beautiful to behold. So, if you want it, go get it, but just be aware that you are getting a flawed product because Lego's original one was flawed, and then Lepin's is even more flawed. But still, having said that, I'm glad that we have it, and it'll look great in our city, and we're excited about that. So everybody, that is my review of the Lepin Grand Carousel. Thanks everybody for watching, and continue to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. I love you guys, are awesome, and thanks for supporting my channel, and see you guys all later.